My love, Sheree, lady girlfriend on the way. We have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with a review of Starz Network. Girl, I don't even know if it's Starz Network. Starz Season 2, Episode 2 of P-Valley. You know how I like to just hop right into the review, so let's just get right into it. The episode kicks off with girl, now that Erin did not have to do that. Episode kicks off with auditions at the PYNK, girl. It's auditions at the PYNK, and it's giving everything that it's supposed to. Okay, we see the thick. They got the mamacitas, the mamitas. They got the big meaty, cornbread fed chicks on the line, getting ready to go into audition at the PYNK. And it was just a good overall, good old nasty ghetto, big thick red bone, thick bone. You know what I mean? Big, juicy, voluptuous women who are auditioning for the position. So the girls who really stood out was a girl named Whisper, who is like, this mystic, and the girl Roulette. Girl, this is Wanda from Snowfall. I'm like, look at Wanda getting roles. I love that for her, bro. Some other girl who was played by Miracle Watts, I forgot what her character name is, you know what I mean? They looking for some I found you, Miss New Booty. Music in this show is like everything that we're supposed to have. You feel what I'm saying? So Mercedes is in charge of picking out the girls. She chooses Whisper, Roulette. Hailey jumps in and was like, oh, we're gonna get, Miracle Watts. And she's like, oh my gosh, I don't want her. She can't even twerk. She can only twerk. She can't do no pole work. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I ain't no coach. And Hailey was like, you are, and you gonna teach her. And then Hailey thought about it like, you know what? I'ma just have it. I'ma need them titties and behind the bar, and we're gonna do it like that. Roulette is giving Mercedes every little bit of side snare, side look. You can tell Roulette is gonna be a problem. Girl, I love the way she was popping that gum. Girl, it's just like, just good and ghetto. That's all I can say. So as Hailey is walking away with Miracle Watts to the bar, in comes Corbin and Andre. I'm like, here we go. Uncle Clifford is like, I told you not to bring your ass around here, and whatever. They go off to the side and they just, they're starting to discuss business. See, we have Keyshawn, and she is in the kitchen getting some lemonade, and then she sees the text message on Derek's phone that says, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to go with another candidate. You ain't get the job, basically. She comes out into the porch and she has 2 glasses of lemonade to serve to these 2 white men, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so reminiscent of like The Color Purple. I hate that imagery. I'm sure it was on purpose, but like, girl, what you serving this man some lemonade for? I just hate to see it, considering what we know. And Derek is on the porch just like, so we can't do nothing about what this man did to me. And he's just like, unfortunately, no. If I persecute or prosecute, it's too early in the morning, that means I'm going to have to get you for assault too. And obviously we don't want to do that. And I'm like, girl, it's always one-sided and flip-flop. That's really art imitating life. The baby starts crying. Keyshawn is about to get up to go get the baby, and Derek is like, no, it's all right, you stay, I'll go get her. Keyshawn is happy. Keyshawn is like, listen, you know what, I'm glad we can put this to bed now, whatever the case may be, because she don't want anything to happen to Diamond. And Derek is just so gun-ho on getting Diamond because he knows that he wants his lady. But the sheriff starts talking about Keyshawn. She's like, oh, so now you ain't working at the PYNK. He was like, no, Cigar, you doing porn? He's like, oh, no, absolutely not. Oh, I'm an influencer now. Hands the business card. Do you want some of this lemon tea? I know that's for a great, but it's sell your TLC. So the sheriff pretty much just says, well, I guess the PYNK really does make superstars, or, you can elevate from coming out the PYNK. And you can tell Keyshawn was kind of like, looking like, damn, I can't even go back to the PYNK. The sheriff just ordered him. She's like, do you know what's her real name? And she's like, you never tell. A stripper never tells you her real name. You gotta earn it. So we're back to the meeting with Corbin and Andre, and Autumn is not playing with them. They're like, yeah, well, you want to offer us 1 million. We need 10 million, because there's a difference between need and desire. And I got that fire and desire, baby. Okay, and they're like, 10 million, girl, you was just in here on your knees, bucket naked. And Uncle Clifford was like, don't do that. They just start talking, and Uncle Clifford comes in and reminds Corbin, like, you trying to rally behind your white brother, and I got this referendum, and don't nobody want no casino. And Corbin lets him know, like, I ain't afraid of that, because we all know N-words like to gamble. And they just do their whole little sassy, snarky banter. So as they're walking out, Andre and Corbin wishes Uncle Clifford, you know, an early happy birthday. Then it's revealed on a flyer that Autumn or Hailey moved up the reopening of the PYNK until Friday, which is the next day, which is on the same day as Uncle Clifford's birthday. And they had this little exchange where it's like, you don't want me to open it up because it's my birthday? He's like, no, well, the PYNK isn't open, isn't ready to be reopened, and you're doing too much and I won't be here. Uncle Clifford is trying to explain to her, like, girl, I know what I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? And this is not the right time. And Hailey persists. It's like, listen, it's not the right time for who? For you? Because we're in this situation and we have to open. Closed legs don't get fed. Uncle Clifford said the PYNK's legs ain't ready to be opened yet. You feel me? And they talk about, Uncle Clifford talk about, yeah, well, you may be the owner, but you are not the boss. And Uncle Clifford is just heated. You know, all of these added dramatics. And he does it so well. They casted the perfect person for Uncle Clifford because you instantly love him. Like I love this line. He said, listen, I'm too much of a cat to be by a kitten. I said, I know that's the right. Okay, period. We are moved into our next scene and we have Passive Woodbine. All right, we going where the blessings beside, girl. When I tell y'all, I screamed. Like, no, they did not, because listen, they keeping it all the way good and ghetto. I love it. Okay, because I mean, how many times you seen that joint remix? Okay, all right, we going. Listen, not where the blessings beside. She had the whole little rap going on in the commercial, but it was a commercial. It was on Grandma Ernestine's TV. Uncle Clifford comes barging in, and she like, what that beat do today? And I'm like, girl, that is the truth. When you got somebody at work that gets on your nerve, your whole family know. Like, girl, well, what happened today? What did such and such do? You be doing them by first name basis. Like, what did Tyrone do today? Uncle Clifford throws himself on the couch. He gets all upset. You know, then they talk about the birthday. He goes off, and it's been 5 months and I ain't have no peen. He goes and storms into the room. Grandma Ernestine is like, try 15 years. Like, girl, that's a long time. Then out of nowhere, Little Murder shows up, and Grandma Ernestine, is she blind? I must have missed that. I missed that part. Grandma Ernestine shows up, and Little Murder shows up at the door. Grandma Ernestine opens the door and is like, oh, wow, what's all this weed I smell? And they have their cute little interactions, and you can see Uncle Clifford standing behind the door, which is a mirror, like right across from the door. So Little Murder can essentially see Uncle Clifford, but Uncle Clifford is like acting like realistically, if that's your house, you know that mirror was there. But you know, we in P-Valley, and he's just sitting there like, you know, I don't want to listen, I don't want to talk, but I want to listen. So Little Murder was just like, just tell Clifford, you know, that I miss him. I've been sending text messages and I want to say goodbye before I go on tour or whatever the case. And you know, Grandma Ernest is like, oh, I knew you was a star, baby. M.I. crooked letter. I love Loretta Devine. Cute interaction. I think that at first I was like, why he ain't say nothing? Little Murder say something to Uncle Clifford, because clearly he's right there. But I guess it just goes into how bad he messed up, and he wants to respect Uncle Clifford's wishes for the time being. Like, he wants him to be okay with it. And the next thing we have Andre, old lusty dusty ass, and he comes home. He's on the phone like, yeah, baby, oh no, I gotta stay here for another, I gotta stay here for another, who knows? You get what I'm saying, girl? Andre's so pressed, and he realizes that water is being ran from Tydell's home, so he's following the hoses, and you know, he pulls up on the house. It's like, oh well, we using the water from my house because you know, he used to pay the water bill for the entire block, but he, you know, some of us are behind in 5 months, some of us are behind in 5 years. Andre goes into the house and he's going through the records. He realizes that Uncle Tydell, or Mayor Tydell, was spending $10,000 a month, okay, on water bill for the block. And he's like, this old Robin Hood ass, you know what I mean? So they're watching home videos, and Andre is reminiscing about you know, his time with Tydell, his godfather. And he said, what you want to be when you grow up? And he was like, I want to be the president. The cameraman, which I'm assuming was his father, was like, you can't be no president, or whatever the case. He's like, don't you say no, that boy can be whatever he want to be. Really kind of just feeding into him and just remembering the roots of how their relationship came to be. I think they are positioning Andre and gearing us up for Andre putting his hat into the election process. I think they're gearing us up to see Andre running as the new mayor, which would make sense to take over as from Tydell, but which means he's gonna have to move his wife, which means there's gonna be a whole couple of couple of other things that we see brewing with Andre. And the next scene we have Derek and Keyshawn, and Derek is going through the diaper genie and realizes that Keyshawn had lied about the diapers. So I'm like, girl, like if you moving like that, you gonna know to be moving them diapers. Why you ain't go back and do it? He said, you went to the dollar store to see that, you know what I mean, or whatever. And Keyshawn is just looking like shook. Okay, Keyshawn is shook. Keyshawn doesn't know what to say. He's like, no, in fact, he yelled at me, and he was calling me names, and I didn't know he was gonna be there. And honestly, I just wanted a moon pie. What is it with Mississippi and these moon pies? Like, did they create moon pies? Because there's so many moon pie references throughout the show. Like, I don't know what that's about. If y'all know, drop down in the comments and let me know. But Derek gets all on the phone. Tell whoever needs to be told that, he's screaming at my wife and I made a complaint. He was pretty much making a complaint. They had said that he had gotten other complaints from Diamond. He's like, y'all need to fire him before I fire him from life. I'm like, yo, that is such a white man thing to say, girl. For real. Keyshawn is just sitting there looking shook. How you know that I was at the dollar store? He was like, oh, well, I tagged your location. I have your location. And the sheriff told me that he worked there. But I don't think it's weird if for your partner to know your location. I don't see that being weird. But because he is obviously violent, I can see where her concern is. But she just said, yeah, well, he was saying all these weird things to me, saying that you called him a gutter N-word, and she was like, he was like, I would never say that, Key. You know me, Keyshawn. Like, Keyshawn knew he was lying though. But she uses this opportunity to mention the tour. And he says, all right, well, we'll invite Rome over to see what we can do, which was all manipulation. Next thing we have Lomerda pulling up in a hearse to go get his homeboy. I forgot the name of the homeboy name, but he looks familiar. He looks like D-Ray. Then he looks like Jonathan off Insecure. This guy is somebody, I don't know who. He comes out of jail. He's like, I got some moon pies for y'all. Again, this whole moon pie reference. They must come from Mississippi. Mississippi moon pie, does that sound familiar? And the next thing we have Rome sitting down with Derek and Keyshawn. And he's talking about, yeah, cause I got you on the waist trainers, I got you on the tee, I got you on this, I got you on that, whatever. And this 12 city tour is gonna be what's up. You the blue guap princess, we're gonna take care of you. And Keyshawn uses this opportunity to leverage her star quality, her influence at this point to get more money from the door or whatever the case. And she lets it be known that, like, well, my man is just getting a manager position and I really don't need to be doing this or whatever. And she kind of empowers him, empowers him and puts, she's playing chess. Miss Mamas is playing chess, and I love that for her. Girl, yes, I'm over here taking notes. Like, that's how you do this. Because she has these men in her life who are trying to essentially control and use her. But she was able to use both of them to get what she wants. I love that. He leaves the house and he goes into the house like, man, I don't know what's going on. She told me to come over here and finesse me or whatever the case may be. But they realize that they need her to go on this tour. They have the reopening of the PYNK, and Uncle Clifford is not there, so it's kind of weird, I feel like. But girl, Roulette and Whisper, obviously, and initially we know Roulette is going to be a problem. Roulette is going to be a problem for Mercedes. She's giving her the rubbing alcohol because, her shoulder is messed up. She's doing little digs. And she a beast on the pole. So then we have Uncle Clifford. He's in the bed, girl. He's soaking. It's his birthday. He getting text messages. He's like, oh, I'm feeling all woe is me. And he gets abducted, girl. He gets abducted and he goes to a birthday party that was for him. Grandma Ernestine hooked it up for him. All his girlfriends, Judy's hooked it up for him. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm on a birthday party. I'm actually looking like a runaway slave. And he has an outfit put together, and they named him Prom Queen. I love that. That was so cute. Girl, if you have a childhood trauma or a childhood issue, relive it in your adult life and go back and do it how you want to, period. That's all I'm going to say about it. Plug it That's it, Dre. Well, Clifford is all done up on his birthday, and then he has this little murder hallucination, you know, just dreaming about him. We see Darrell, Relly B, we see him make his cameo, and he was a natural. He did really well, although he was playing a character I'm sure that's close to him in real life. He did really well, and he presented well on screen too. Uncle Clifford gets into it with his friend about soliciting, okay? And you know, the friend pretty much just says, you know, I'm okay with where I'm at, but are you? And this is, I feel like, gearing us up towards maybe Uncle Clifford leaving the PYNK, you know, transitioning into a next portion of his life, because 40 is a big one. Then he got some birthday head. Then we're back at the PYNK. Girl, Mercedes is hot because they calling them Earth, Wind, and Fire, and baby Whisper and Roulette is eating Mercedes up on the pole. They eat him up. She did this one trick where she acted like she was about to fall and came back on the pole. Girl, they was eating it up. They was eating it up, period. And that scene, that whole scene is just lit. Mercedes is trying to keep up with him. And, you know, Mercedes is climbing up on the pole super high. They like, Mercedes, Mercedes. And then she just falls, which I feel like that storyline could have went somewhere else, but we'll get into it, because we know we've had strippers fall from super major heights, and you know, it can be detrimental, but whatever. She wakes up and she's at Diamond's place, and girl, he's doing some mojo magic, okay? He's conjuring up and he laying roots and doing work, and you know, he's touching her and she's like, okay? And as she's touching her, he's moving weight from off her shoulder, and God bless you, baby. Diamond removes the weight from her shoulder because she said she was just feeling heavy. Remove it. He puts this invisible, you know, the weight, and you can see that it's 7 pounds. And he was just like, yeah, I just removed 7 pounds of weight from your shoulder. Mercedes like, that sounds mighty specific. And he's like, yeah, well, all I'm gonna say is it takes 7 pounds of pressure to pull the trigger. And you know, they're just looking like, you know, Autumn, Uncle Clifford, and Mercedes, they're all just looking at each other like, girl, this is too deep. Uncle Clifford, I think it was Hailey that realized that Diamond had kept Montavious' ring, and Diamond said, listen, I ain't gonna have his hag on me. I need to have some protection, period. Mercedes is upset, like, I've been having dreams. I keep seeing this man, you know, and it's all because of your fault. And, you know, Mercedes is getting pissed off, and she's like, I want you out of my house. She's like, well, I still haven't found anything at Chuckalisa. I want you out of my house tonight. She is sick of it, girl. She had that monkey on her back, girl. She like, no, that's enough. That's it. I think that was an important scene for the culture. You know, the down in the Delta type of culture. That's all I'm gonna say. Then we have Keyshawn using her sexual prowess to manipulate her man to go on tour. He says yes. Then Hailey is up at the PYNK, girl. She's at the PYNK because she had to get up out of her house, Mercedes' house. She had enough of that, and she pours a drink. You know, she's on the pole by herself dancing. She sees Montavious in the room where he died. Okay, and I don't know if she actually saw it or we were able to see it, but Montavious' spirit is going to be with us for some time in the series. And in comes, you know who, Lusty Andre. Lusty Andre comes in and, you know, gives him a hug. You know, he just pretty much says, thank you for telling me to go to the funeral. And they do a nice little hug. He says, you know, when you gonna make me a big D offer? He's like, listen, who knows? I'm gonna be around here for a little bit longer. And that's pretty much where the story ends for me. Let me know what y'all think about this week's episode. I love the PYNK. I'm about to say the PYNK. I love P-Valley. I'm gonna be here. A lot of people aren't watching, but y'all are watching for longer, which lets me know that y'all are really enjoying these reviews, and I thank you and I appreciate you for that. Make sure you like this video because it helps you in the YouTube algorithm. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.